Hi, welcome to the Oliver Feder YouTube channel. Today I'm working on my 1995 Mitsubishi Delica L300 and I am working on replacing the turbo currently. So mine, like everybody else's, is really slow and almost too slow for what I do. I live in Colorado, we drive a lot of mountain passes and it gets really hot in undesirable ways. So I ordered a Garrett, I think it's a TD04-15T. It's the 15T variant of the stock frame turbo, so same exhaust dimensions, much bigger compressor. Currently, this is what's going on. So I just made some room, I took off like the intake hose and basically all the intake piping I just removed for now to make it easier to get in here. And now we have like pretty good access to the turbo. I can get the rest of these bolts over here from the bottom. And I actually don't know what turbo is on it, which sucks. I mean, once I pull it off, I'll be able to figure it out. It's some kind of Garrett. And I mean, fingers crossed, I really hope it's not already the 15T. I don't think there's any possible way it is though, because this thing is brutally slow and it makes like no boost. We always run like pretty rich. I mean, I make 14 pounds of boost, but you can tell it's just not getting a lot of air. So hopefully this turbo upgrade solves the problem. Okay, so now I got the exhaust off, and seems to me, based on how it's going, that you just have to take the exhaust manifold off with the turbo on it in order to replace it, because this nut over here and the one on the underside are too close to the engine mount and stuff to really get a wrench on them with it in the car, unfortunately. So whole manifold and turbo looks like it needs to come out. So turbo is off and now on the bench. I figured that if you take the wastegate off the intake manifold and you unbolt this 90 on the horn on the intake, then this actually all does fit out the bottom, which is good. You don't have to take the intake manifold off, which is nice. So this just all slides out as one piece, which is pretty good with a little finagling. I was kind of shitting bricks for a minute because I was looking at it, and this is my new turbo and this is the old turbo, and at first glance I was like, oh shit, it's not bigger. But if you look at even just the inducer area, way bigger. So I think we're on the right track. I'm gonna try to pull the Garrett part number off of this and figure out what corresponding size / part number it is to be sure. So after a little research, this is actually a GT like 1749, and this isn't from Garrett, but it's kind of the equivalent of maybe like a GT 2052, or even a little bit bigger than a 2052 in terms of compressor wheel. So hopefully you should be seeing a sizable improvement when we go to this turbo, even though they look suspiciously the same size. Comparing these side by side too, we can kind of see, sorta, that we're actually getting a slightly bigger turbine outlet as well, which is great. So hopefully this turbo will flow a lot better. Okay, so I finally got my new turbo started. I actually found it was easiest and cleanest just to remove the intake manifold. I mean, it's only 8 more bolts, so I could get this gasket nice and clean. And if you're thinking about doing this, it's probably a good idea to replace the manifold gasket while you're at it, since the manifolds have to come off anyways. I also got my lines run, which is a slight pain. These water lines, gonna be reusing those, but just had to get some fittings from Ace to make it work. Got that lower one connected, got my oil lines connected. Just got to tighten everything up and put this back together. Got my intake manifold and exhaust manifold installed. All those bolts go in at 13 foot-pounds / nuts for the studs. Turbo connections are all in and final and tight. So now it's just a matter of sticking the rest of the intake type piping back on here and working out 1 or 2 small details. You know me, I was hoping for a beautiful conclusion to this turbo install video, but instead I got an entirely new problem that's really annoying. So I did take it around the block for a test drive just the other night, and turbo is working fine. That's not the problem. But my car immediately overheated, since this is also, the turbo is the tail end of me doing timing, job, water pump, thermostat, radiator, all that stuff. So there's absolutely no reason it should be overheating, but it still is. To wrap up a thought, though, for the good people of the internet, I did get the overheating sorted. This is like months later. Thermostat was wrong, and fan clutch was wrong, and that will do it. Turbo is a good improvement over the slightly smaller one. I think, to be fair, these come in like a 9B, a 10B, a 13T, and a 15T. So I think I had the 13 on there and I put the 15 on instead, and it works fine. I did increase my fueling a bit, but honestly, too much. That just is to say that I don't have any problems with it spooling. The hot side of the turbo is almost identical to the previous, and it doesn't create any lag characteristics. It seems like a lot of people are concerned about that or think that a big turbo is a race turbo. A big turbo in the compressor wheels side is just an efficient turbo. That's it. It did help my EGTs a little bit. It definitely like boosts nicer. That said, it did not completely solve the problem I'm getting at, which is I want to drive up a hill at 50 miles an hour without the EGTs going to the moon. So, still working on that one, and I think the next iteration is intercooler and maybe head studs in order to run enough cold, dense air through it. We'll see. But, net result, 15T, definitely worthwhile, and in general, hopefully this was a good overview of what replacing your turbo might look like. Thank you.